Welcome. This is video number 3 of a 4-part series regarding the profile for the employee relations group. Video number 3 is a short video, but it will show you how to maintain your data sheets in order for the program to actually populate the profile and make it easier, not just for you, but for everyone who's using the system or the program. Okay, the first thing I want you to focus is you can go to any of these sheets or any of these tabs here and notice how the information is divided. This is technically a proper data set because it has a group, it has an individual number, dates, and so on. The first thing I want to do is show you how to enter the information the easy way. There's many different ways of inputting information in any type of system or program or database, but for this specific program or platform, I want you to consider using data validation. For example, if several people are using the program at the same time, and this cloud-based platform allows 10, 100 different people to be in the same program at any given time. The reason why I strongly recommend using data validation is because you have one item to select from instead of individuals putting different informations. For example, this might be sales, somebody else can write sales, someone else can write sales, and the reality is on most programs they are very different items, although they mean the same. Because this is one format and this is a different format, some programs, including this, can take it as it being a totally different item. The easiest way to do away with such errors or such problems is to use data validation, and this is how we're going to do it for this profile. The first thing is you want to create the data validation. You go up here in the data validation, again, data validation. This tells me where my cursor is at, so it's at J6. You have a couple of choices. You can select from a range, which this is considered a range, or you can create a list. If you create a list, you can have it like this. Let's make a list. Marketing, comma, and then operations. That would be my list. If you have a short list, say less than 5 items, then I recommend you do the list. And so if you type anything else but one of these choices, you're going to get a notification. Say I put marketing. You see this red little invalid icon is telling me that you have to select from one of these two. Once you select the proper marketing or the proper division or the proper item, the program basically makes you correct any item that you put in here. Now the other way of doing it, say you have, I don't know, 20 divisions. The other way of doing it is, again, data tab, data validation. Wherever you put the cell range, say I don't want it there, say I want it right over here. Click on it, press OK. I want it from a range. You can either click the range or click this little box, little table icon, select the data range, and I'll select the data range, press OK. Save. And so by doing it this way, I'm able to select certain things from a range. Again, you are not going to make a mistake because it won't allow you. You know, if I was to put sales, wait a minute, marketing, if I was to put something else other than the way it's sale, other than the way it's under the range, then it's going to give me an invalid response. So it forces me to make the right selection. Now, to get rid of a data validation, the way you do it, again, click on the data validation itself, data validation, and remove validation, which is this button here. And when you remove it, all you have to do is click on it and delete it, and that's it. Again, select it. If you want to delete it, select it. Data tab, data validation, remove validation. What it does, it removes validation, the validation, so you have no more options. You do have the last item that you entered, and to delete it, just backspace or delete. Again, using data validation will help you in many different ways, not only because it's going to limit errors, but it forces the individual or individuals that are inputting all this information to make one selection for that specific item. If you are the employee or the individual assigned to input the information, the data entry, then using data validation will help you, because at the end you're only going to make one selection. So it's just a matter of clicking. If you have 20 different items, use the data validation range. If you have a few items, then use a list. You can actually make other selections, but this is the basic format for data validation. It's going to help not only the program capture the right information, but the individual who's inputting the information. The last thing I want to reassure or reaffirm is the fact that you can use data validation for everything and anything. You can maintain it under a list or under a range. And the last item is when you're working with a proper data set, which all of these items are proper data sets because they have headers, they have dates, and they have basic information. The other important item is the data field. You have to have a proper data field or data column for the program to capture the information. Everything is dependent on dates. Because you're measuring dates, you always have to make sure that you use proper dates. And the easiest way to input dates is to select it, click Format, Number, and Date. That's it. If you do it this way, you will never have any issues. You will always have the ability to select, double click and select the calendar, which you should always try to use a calendar instead of manually inputting the information, only because the calendar will take that information and not make a mistake. If you're physically typing it, you might make a mistake. You will know that you have correct information or correct input at the end when you run the analysis for the profile. When you start selecting dates and the numbers don't add up to what you have, say you have 30 projects and the profile is only showing 10, well, there's a reason why, and that is because you don't have correct dates or you don't have correct information. But if you follow these simple little steps, correct dates formatted through a calendar, and data validation, you should not have any issues with the profile. Again, this is video number 3, and in this video we learned how to maintain the data tabs or data sheets. We've entered data. We used data validation 2 different ways, the list and the range, and we learned how to work with dates.